All right, so we are playing the Wood Elves up against the Dwarves. And to go over the factions that we'll be playing today, it's going to be Wood Elves and Chaos. Also, by the way, I have a video recording now due to medium request. So should be good. I'm using the same old Wood Elf kite build versus the Dwarves. Just practicing this build so that we're very proficient with it and that I don't get too surprised if we ever have to play this matchup in a tournament. For those who haven't seen it before, the build relies on the Glade Guard to do the majority of the damage and Way Watchers to punish any Quarrelers or Rangers that turn to face these guys. That's why we put them on the far flank. And to actually clean up in case the dwarves decide to push towards me, we have War Dancers and Wild Riders. So there we go. So we'll put them on one. Everything else, in terms of our heroes, are here to deal with artillery. Soul Quench especially is very good. And with the new Loic's Blessing, stealth ability, we can get very close to the artillery without having to worry about getting shot to death. So should be pretty good. I think putting this one over here on the far flank will do better. And we want to deploy very far back in case this dwarf player decides he wants to minor rush me, which is semi-common. See, their count is at 1,000, which means I don't have a good read on dwarf build sizes here. But it's better than if it was any higher than this, then I'd be a bit worried, since you do usually run out of ammunition when playing this style. Could be pretty sketchy. See, opponent's taking a while, so let's just start the battle and get underway. So first things first, we're going to use Loic's Blessing. And then just fly over here, shoot some organ guns, and we're good to go. So let's test the reaction time of my opponent. We'll use here, Loic's Blessing here. And did we take out a cannon? We did. Wonderful. So we can advance a little bit. We are just to fulfill attacking rules, really. Gyrocopters are moving this way. Try and catch my lord. Little does he know I will be taking this path along here. He is now on stealth though, but nothing is really in position to stop her. And the Soul Quench should, there we go, take out a cannon model. So sick, things are going very well so far. Can bring up this Waystalker, and he wants to be spotting the Rangers, I think. Looks like he's shooting our War Dancers. And the Gyrocopters are firing away at my caster. Let's see, I'm not sure what the best way to deal with that is. I guess I can just charge the Gyrocopters and just keep them busy as best I can. Waystalker will be shooting the cannons, and Glade Guard are moving up so that they can start doing their damage. Gyrocopters aren't really too scary. You can actually dodge their shots. And that's what we're going to be doing now. Just distracting it as much as possible. Yo, taking a little bit of damage, but we do have healing. And we can use another Soul Quench on that cannon. Not too worried about taking chip damage. We do have a lot of healing. Ooh, and we can actually fire on these Rangers with my Way Watchers, although they are a little bit out of position. I'll have to take care there. We almost have a Loic's Blessing again. Let's throw that down so that we stealth. And let's use these guys. Let's see, I'm not sure where those Rangers went, but we can shoot a volley at the miners at the very least. Meanwhile, we'll take out the rest of this artillery. And there are the Rangers. So you can see they turn to face my Way Watchers. We can just pull back and use our use our Glade Guard to pressure them. This way they won't be able to use their shields, and then we can take them out pretty easily. our cavalry and war dancers can stay safely back. There's no real reason for them to engage at this point. And looks like my Glade Guard are doing very well. And now our opponent is moving up. So this is what usually happens with the Dowie when they realize that they're being massively outgunned. And that is why we have these Wild Riders, who almost forgot their name. It's been so long since I used them. There we go. Let's take out those guys. Let's take out the last cannon. See, this Waystalker can start sniping out the Rune Lord. And I just have to be a little bit careful of those miners moving up along the left-hand side. We can probably use our War Dancers to take them out, though. See more Rangers over here that I think we can take out. And I guess I'll use an Apotheosis here. So let's reset the cooldowns on our abilities. And then once those miners are distracted, we can... Whoa, what's my cavalry doing there? Once the miners are distracted, our... what are these guys called? War Dancers can get in and engage them. So all in all, things are going very well. Have to stay out of the range of those guys, though. But we've picked off another unit of miners, and our ammunition is still strong. Our opponent hasn't advanced earlier in the game, so we actually have quite a bit of space to run back to. And these dwarf warriors can be taken out pretty easily. Nice, so we've taken out the blasting charges, and we can shoot these dwarf warriors in the back. The big volley comes in. That should rout those guys in a bit. We can take these ones out too, and kite back from the healthier unit of dwarf warriors. Our Wild Riders will take a little bit of damage from Quarreler Fire, but we can... Oh, they got slow too. But we can throw down a heal, no problem. Let's see, let's take out this unit of dwarf warriors next. And then as soon as the warriors are gone, that'll solve most of our problems. These slayers are getting close, so we'll have to turn on fire at will. And split up our way watchers, which should keep them safe. It also means that we'll be firing in from the side. They won't get their shielded bonus. Then we should be able to take them out. See another unit of slayers closing in on my lines, but we can turn our guns here to deal with them. And these slayers too will be taking a little bit too much fire to handle. Let's see, a little bit of stuttering, and there we go. We got a win! So, there you go. Nice Wood Elf build. We took 42 losses. Nice. Jeez. Alright. And yeah, you can see, especially with the double cannons here, there wasn't a whole lot of DPS that the dwarves could throw at me to actually win the day there. Usually, if you're playing the dwarves and you don't want to get kited like this, you go for double organ gun, and you need to drop artillery when the arrows of Kurnos come your way. Playing aggressively with your rangers too to catch out way watchers can work also. So that's something you have to worry about, but of course you'll also have to prepare for rushes. This next game is up against the Skaven. Our army is a lot of high DPS and chaff, a lot of mobility and chariots. For our opponent, looks like he's gone for a boxish type build with poisoned wind globadiers in the front line, bunch of rat ogres, and some Jezzails shooting at, looks like, my aspiring champions. So not too worrying there. And I think we can start off by just running Sartorial straight into these poisoned wind globadiers. We will also want to get an overcast final transmutation if we can. And our chariots want to get into position. Same with our cavalry. So let's get ahead and do that. And the better the surround. Well, yeah, basically we just want to get a very strong surround. But Poison Wind Globadiers have caught up. We're not fully in position yet. I think I mismicroed that a tiny bit. And they are getting some damage. There's a Hell Pit Abomination on Sartorial too. But we might be able to get a lot of damage here. I think so. So we're going to throw down an Overcast Final Transmutation on this big blob of units. Keep Sartorial there, since he's happy to take the fight. And use our Horsemen to shoot at the Rat Ogres. Chariots need to be finding infantry. And let's also get some Marauders over into the back line. Deal with all this. Sartorial, let's make sure he's safe. And I think we're able to shut down the back line now. As soon as we get Marauders there, we're feeling a lot better, since our Horsemen would rather not engage in melee. Chasing off some Rat Ogres now. Sartorial is still safe, which is good. And I think we might have already secured the win here. Skaven front lines have collapsed very heavily. And about all of the Skaven are running now. So priorities are now shifting to actually chasing off units. We'll be chasing off the Giselles specifically, since the Globadiers don't have very high range. Those Rat Ogres are still being chased off too, which is very good. Sartorial is healthy. And I guess we just save up for another Overcast Transmutation to deal with who is this? Skrolk? Yeah, we might want that. Looks like my Chariots too have actually routed off. A little bit of a misplay there. It means that we can't chase off these units as effectively. But we have another backup unit of Chariots, so I think we're good. Our Horsemen want to turn off fire at will, except for this one. That's because we're saving ammunition to deal with the Hell Pit Abomination. In fact, enough of these guys are chased off now where I think I'm going to bring back my Horsemen just to kill this guy. We'll use Arcane Conduit again for that Winds of Magic. And then, yeah, we can just start pulling these guys back to the main fight. There's not a whole lot left that we really have to chase off, except I guess these Globadiers. So we'll bring Chariots over to support. And then once this Hell Pit is gone, I think we've secured ourselves a win. Horsemasters are in position now. Let's move them up a little bit closer, just so that they miss fewer shots. And then we're good to go. Ammo efficiency is a bit important here, but on the verge of army losses, I think we're good. Another Final Transmutation should seal the deal here. Oh, looks like the Rat Ogres are coming back. We'll chase them with Horsemen. And Sartorial's having a hard time getting close for this stand or die. But it doesn't matter, as we get our win. So, pretty easy win. I think our opponent here, build-wise, he was in a bit of a rough position. With so many Globadiers, it can be pretty hard to defend them. You can see his weapon teams didn't really pay for themselves, and a lot of his monstrous units didn't have the support they needed to run into the infantry. So, yeah, in fact, our Marauder Horsemen were probably the heroes there for dealing with the Molder monsters. Also the Triads too, I didn't even notice them. Sadly enough for our opponent.